viewers, there are no signs of de-escalation as far as the ongoing West Asia war is concerned. But amidst the, missiles that are continuing, there has been a major shakeup. U.S. President Donald Trump has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. The dismissal comes amid growing dissatisfaction with her performance, particularly over her handling of investigative files related to Jeffrey Epstein. As per U.S. media, Trump had also gone a little frustrated with Bondi for not moving swiftly enough to pursue criminal cases against his political critics and adversaries. Trump did not mention a reason behind this decision. Instead, he opted for a measured tone in public, and this is what he wrote. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as the Attorney General over the past year. The U.S. President also praised her for doing a tremendous job in overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across the country. He also mentioned that she will be transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector. Right now, it's not clear what that might really be. Now, this, of course, has been a big, issue in the United States of America. And now the question really is that what is going to really happen next, and what, in fact, were the reasons behind this decision that has been taken, in fact, by U.S. President Donald Trump. So reason number one is the handling of Epstein files. Reason number two is that she probably failed to target the rivals the way she should have targeted them. Now, Pam Bondi's ouster comes after the firing of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem last month. Earlier today, U.S. Army Chief Randy George was also asked to step down. He was asked to retire in the middle of the war that's currently underway. And this has heightened anxiety within the administration, with cabinet secretaries and other senior administration officials wondering whether they are going to be next. So loyalists also are not being spared. So we told you how Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, has been fired. Then that followed another important shakeup, and that was in the U.S. Army. Randy George, the U.S. Army Chief, has been asked to step down. Then Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, has also been fired by U.S. President Donald Trump. So this is the latest update that we are getting for you at this point in time. The war is continuing, and this major shakeup has also raised questions on, what is the game plan as far as the U.S. President is concerned going forward? Because he keeps on claiming that he is winning the war. The objectives have been met, more or less what he had really planned, what he expected this war to really achieve. But amidst this, these decisions are clearly raising questions. Joining us on the broadcast right now is retired Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, who is a defense expert. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Times Now. Before I talk to you about what could be really the strategy of U.S. President Donald Trump, in your opinion, I want to get your reaction on this big shakeup that has happened in American military. The Army Chief has been asked to step down, and then we've also learned that two other high-ranking military officials have been fired by Pete Hegseth.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon to all your viewers. See, in the middle of a war, which is so intense and which is so much discussed and which has impact on the whole of world, sacking your army chief, sacking your senior generals and admirals, this only shows somewhere they went into this war without taking everyone on board and without actually working out the war strategy and the options. Halfway through the war, if your army chief is being sacked, that means he was not on board to start with, or you didn't have a strategy. Which was he aware of. So suddenly you may have changed your strategy, you may have changed your operational plan, you may have changed your political objectives, and then the army chief, for good reasons, may have opposed it, and then you sack him. That only shows all is not well. And if you sack your army chief in the middle of a war, that only shows you are not winning this war as of now. If you are winning the war, you would never sack the captain. If the captain is being sacked, that means the team is not performing well. When the team is not performing well, then you go for a shakeup. And doing that in the middle of the war means you got it wrong somewhere.
You've made a couple of interesting points, and we will, of course, address them one by one. But before that, sir, a couple of days ago, even the top U.S. counterterrorism official, Joe Kent, had resigned. And now some people are being sacked.
Absolutely. See, every time someone gives a narrative or someone gives an opinion counter to the powers that may be, the person is sacked. At that time, Iran was being talked about as if it's just few days away from making a nuclear bomb, as if they are going to attack the US homeland. And when the counter-terrorist chief may have said that, sorry, they are not doing this. But that's what some news were coming. And he was sacked because he was not towing the line or the narrative. So narrative in today's warfare runs side by side. The psychological warfare runs side by side. And if you are not towing that psychological warfare line or narrative building, then you are not aligned with the team. So I think there is a lot of things which are not matching up. There are a lot of things which are not totaling up. And this does not happen during a war. Okay. If it is happening during a war, at the cost of repetition, I will say all is not well and your war is not going as you had planned, at least as of today.
Okay.
And I think the army chief, another point, army chief, there's a lot of talk of being made. Even the President Trump had said that they will capture the Kharg Island. That would mean boots on ground. He requested the NATO allies and the European allies who did not come forward.
Okay.
So the only option left was Israelis are not keen to put Israeli boots on ground on the Iranian soil. Now, if Kharg has to be captured or Iranian foothold has to be taken or the regime change, which was the initial political aim, has to happen, boots on ground have to happen. With no one else coming forward, the American boots have to go on ground. And if that is what is being planned, and the army chief probably was not on board on this, and then he had to be removed.
Okay.
And, we can all make conjectures, but this is how it looks from the available information in the open domain.
Okay. Lieutenant General KJ Dhillon, you said that, usually something like this does not happen in the middle of a war. So I have two questions for you. One, has it ever in the past happened? Now, this question I'm asking because yesterday, when US President Donald Trump was addressing the nation on Iran war, he listed out other wars that US has been part of and how they went on for years altogether.
Yes, in the American history, it has happened. In the Civil War, it has happened. So few generals were sacked. And that's the point I'm making. They were sacked, probably they were not moving as per the war plan, or the war was not moving as per the war plan. So if the things are not moving as planned, how can you say we are winning? If you are winning, then you don't sack your captains. If you are not winning as you had planned, or things are not moving as planned, that is when you go for a shakeup. And my point which I made initially, you are doing a shakeup or you're doing a leadership change in the middle of a war, that only proves one thing. The war is not moving as you had planned it. If it was moving as planned, then why should anyone be sacking the army chief? And sacking of army chief is not sacking any civilian diplomat or civilian or diplomatic authority. Army chief is a leader of men and women who lay down their lives in the battlefield for the nation on his orders. You sack a secretary, there is no one who will lay down their lives on the orders of that secretary or the diplomat. But army chief is a leader of men and women, I say again. The men and women under his command will lay down their lives for the security and the victory of the nation on his command. It has an adverse impact on the morale of the troops on ground, especially when you're fighting overseas, you're fighting a difficult war, you're fighting in the terrain and the weather which is hostile. I think this is something bigger than what is actually visible now.
Okay, there's definitely much more than what meets the eye. We leave it there. Lieutenant General KJ Dhillon, appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us.
I'm losing the sound.
Okay. I think we've understood the point you're making and you've made some really important points. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. And viewers, let's also bring to you, some other important developments that have taken place as far as the ongoing war is concerned. US President Donald Trump has spoken about American military might. He has issued fresh threat to Iran. US President, in fact, has warned that he is going to blow up bridges. America is going to blow up bridges, electric power plants, and much more if a deal is not reached very soon with Iran. On the other hand, there are updates coming in from Iran as well. US-Israeli strikes have destroyed the tallest bridge in the Middle East. Iconic bridge in Iran has been cut in half after bombing was reported. And Trump has now warned that this is just the beginning. Perhaps much more is going to follow, because just yesterday he had reiterated that America is going to hit Iran very hard. And that's something that we are seeing happening. Then Iran, on the other hand, has slammed America over targeting of civilian infrastructure. Its foreign minister has hit back at Trump, saying that striking civilian infrastructure will not really compel Tehran to surrender if that's the game plan of US President Donald Trump. So a warning there coming in from Iran as well. And on the other hand, amid no let-up in war, world's largest aircraft carrier seems to be heading back to the Middle East. According to reports, America's mega warship is set to rejoin the war after earlier suffering damage in a fire incident. What does it mean? What are the plans ahead? Everyone's really concerned about that right now. And where is this war really headed? And then another update has come from Iran. Iran is claiming attack on US tech giant's data center and computing site in UAE. However, UAE has denied this particular attack and has said that this is fake news. Remember, over the last few days, we have seen several data centers being targeted. But in this case, UAE has reportedly said that this is fake news. Let's now move on and